Good morning, guys. It's me. It's Rusty 78609, Central Texas, USA, and I am in Central Texas, USA. I'm just leaving the little town of, well, not little, it's actually a big town, of Georgetown, Texas, north of Austin, about 30 miles. And I'm headed east on Highway 29, going towards Taylor, Texas. Just taking a little driving trip this morning to break the monotony a little bit. So we'll call this Cruising Texas, I don't know, Georgetown, Taylor. I don't know where I'm going this morning, just driving around. It's about 83 top-down degrees right now, clear skies, a little warm. And time is about 9:30, I believe. Well, 9:45 a.m. Central Standard Time. And anyway, thank y'all for all your comments regarding the puppy. I still get them. And other things. I was going to do a video this morning about all the go down the comments, but there's so many that and they're all, a lot of them are related to me getting a pet, and it's still on the agenda. It's just a matter of working it out. I don't know what they're doing here at this red light. I don't know if I'm supposed to just take turns or what. If I can run into a deputy, that'll be a good start. Okay, well, I'm headed east. I used to work over here years ago in this area. I worked as a gas pipeline inspector. I checked gas pipelines for leaks, and you use this little device called a sniffer, and it was also called a flame pack, because what it would do, it was pulling in air, and whenever there was any natural gas in the air or a certain amount, then it would set off a buzzer on your device, and then you'd start pinpointing where the leak was coming from. It was a pretty interesting little procedure. I went all over western U.S., particularly North Texas, this area of Texas. And if people knew how many pipeline leaks they were, they'd probably be a little scared, because in some of these cities, I promise you can't walk 10 feet without hitting a leak. Now, they're not all big leaks; they're mostly small, and but small leaks can become big leaks, and that's why they used a company that I worked with to go around and check them. The name of the company was Southern Cross, out of Norcross, Georgia, which is, I guess, northeast or north of just a suburb of Atlanta, Georgia. And for those of you that travel and work camp, it's a good place to pick up some work and travel too. It pays good. I guarantee it does. They give you a per diem plus a wage, and you can live on your per diem and just save all the way. That's what I did. I did it for about, I guess, I don't know, 5 years maybe. And that wasn't just a straight 5-year period. I'd do it for a while, then I'd leave and come back. But it was a good deal, and I worked this area for a while. I was here in this area for probably about 6 months. But I did run across some big leaks every now and then. There were grades 1, 2, and 3. Grade 1 was the worst. And if it was near a house or a business, then you actually had to shut down the house or the business to pinpoint the leak and get it repaired. I mean, you had to call the gas company and tell them you had a grade 1. They would send trucks out immediately or within 15 or 20 minutes because they had guys on standby for that purpose. And you would evacuate an area depending on where you were. And did I find many of those? No, I didn't. But they were dangerous. You had to be really careful when you ran across a grade 1 because that was explosive. And of course, most of our tools were brass so that it wouldn't throw a spark. We did have some people doing the same type work I was that got caught in some explosive situations. I didn't. Never had an explosion. Never had what they called an ignition. And but you know, what's crazy about natural gas? It vents up into the atmosphere. It's probably the safest gas you can use for heating homes, and I'm sure that's why they use it. But it vents up, so if it's in a house, it'll vent up into the attic and then find ways to escape the home. So a small gas leak in a home is not dangerous, can be in a closed up house for a long period of time. I ran across a few of those where we had to, open the windows and doors, the people. And, the crazy thing about it was whenever there's a gas leak in a neighborhood, the gas pipelines run right next to the curb usually, and they're supposed to be down about 8 feet, but they're not. These contractors try to get away with everything they can. Sometimes they're down as little as 2 feet. And what happens whenever there's a gas leak, the person that owns the home thinks their grass is dying because it's got some kind of a fungus, but it doesn't. What happens is as the natural gas vents up through the soil, it takes all the oxygen with it. And when it takes the oxygen out of the soil, all the plant life dies, including your yard. And you can actually walk down streets and without even detecting the leak, you can see them because it'll be like a half moon shape from the street going up into the yard and then back to the street. And I've talked to people, they'd be out watering their grass. They tell me that, man, I don't know what this is. I've tried everything. I've tried fertilizer, and I've tried this, and I've tried that. And I said, man, you can keep trying it, but you're never going to get rid of it until they get rid of this gas leak. And usually those types of gas leaks were not grade 1s, they'd be grades 2 and 3, and that pretty much meant the gas company could get to them whenever they wanted to. And what I would tell these people if I saw them, if they just happened to be out, I would tell them, say, look, if you'll contact the gas company and put them on notice that your yard's dying because of the gas leak, if you stay on them, they'll get here. But if you don't, there's a regulation that they follow, and it may be quite a while before they get out here. But anyway, driving through Taylor, Texas kind of reminded me of that. And I worked in Wichita Falls, Vernon, Texas. I was in Little Rock, Arkansas for a while, and then I went up to Jonesboro. God, you don't want to go to Jonesboro, Arkansas. Trust me. I was in Mississippi, and God, you don't want to go to Mississippi anywhere, in my opinion. In Tennessee, man, rugged. You get down in some of the inner city. In fact, in most of the cities that I worked in or near, if you had to go into certain sections of the town, particularly where the blacks were, unfortunately, that's just the way it was, you had to go in pairs, because if you ran across a group of young blacks between the ages of 18 and 30 that were just unemployed, doing drugs or whatever they can do to rake up some money, then you were nothing but a target. And I never had any problems. Some of the other people did. And the reason I didn't have any problem was because it was real easy. When they told me to go do a job there, I'd say no. That's it, baby. No. And then I'd just take some time off for a few weeks till I got through with that area, and then I'd come back to work and go somewhere else. Because I was just doing it to basically have something to do and pick up a little extra money. But it's a good job for those of you that work camp or want to try that. Again, the name of the company is Southern Cross out of Norcross, Georgia. And I'm sure it's different today because it's been several years since I worked there, but I'm sure they're still looking for people because they probably use the same type of equipment. Now, when I was there, you were on your own and you pretty much moved at your own speed. There was kind of a guideline as to how much pipeline you should do every day. You did do a lot of walking, but the equipment that you carried was very lightweight. You could do it at your own pace, and you only did about 5 hours of actual walking a day or less, probably less. And the rest of the time you were doing paperwork, or if you ran across a grade 1, that would pretty much fill up a whole day sometimes there. And so there was a lot of times you didn't do a whole lot. You started about 7 o'clock in the morning, so by noon your day was basically done. And then it was just paperwork, cleaning the equipment, and then the next day again, 5 days a week. But now what they do, and that was one of the reasons I left, was because they got to the point they were using GPS, and they gave you a cell phone, and the cell phone monitored exactly where you were all the time. In other words, you were being monitored by Big Brother. You were a little red spot on a map. And the upside was it did help you find and pinpoint the pipeline, because sometimes their maps are not all that accurate, and you had a hard time finding the pipeline, particularly if you were going cross country, which I didn't do a lot because that was really rough. But I didn't like the idea of being watched by Big Brother, and so whenever they implemented that, I did it for a while. It was just the fact that it was there. You felt like you had somebody on you all the time, and you kind of did, because they would mention, they'd say, well, you did this, this, and this, you could have done that, that, and that. And I said, well, shit, when you're out there on the ground, you don't see all that. You're seeing it from GPS, and I'm looking at a map. It's a lot different. But anyway, so having said all of that, this is me. I'm headed to Taylor. I'm on Highway 29 headed east in Central Texas, USA. And life is good, actually. I have no complaints at all. Health's good. I got up and did my walking this morning. Then I thought, well, shit, I'll just take a drive. I'll go over around the Taylor area. The reason I'm headed over here, at one time, we still do. We have an oil lease over there in Lee County near Lexington, Texas. And we got some oil royalties out of it for a while, not a lot, but you noticed it. And of course it's nothing now. The shale oil boom has busted, and so that's gone to zero. But I'm just going to drive over there and see if they have a pumping unit there, because what these oil companies will do is, you may not get your royalties, but they still could be pumping, okay? And what they'll tell you is it's just distillate, and there's no market for it, and that's all a lie. They tie it into a pipeline, or they have a truck come out and pick it up, and you never know it. So that's and actually it just gives me a reason for an outing. It's a nice little drive. This is me kind of over in the East Texas area. It'll be about approximately 3 hours from my home, and then I'll have lunch somewhere and turn around and come back. I mean, I get the travel itch every now and then, and this kind of gets it out of my system. Go over and kind of have a picnic and so forth. but it's a pretty drive. This because what I do, I go these back roads, these little 2-lane highways that I remember when I was doing the pipeline inspections, because I was on these back roads a lot and got to know them. But that way I can travel a long way without having to fight traffic and have somebody on my bumper for my entire trip. But having said that, folks, y'all enjoy your day. Again, thank y'all for all your comments, and for those of you that subscribe, thank you again. And pump in those comments because I'll when I get time, I go through them and of course respond to those that I can, and those that I think might be of global interest, I do a short video on. Gives me something to do. But anyway, having said all that, guys, enjoy your day. Thumbs up. There's my thumb. Thumbs up. Carpe diem. Adios. And bye.